Let's bring in aviation attorney Timothy Loranger, aerospace engineer and former pilot Arthur Rosenberg, former Black Hawk helicopter pilot, retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gobb, and former pilot Robert Bukowicz. Thank you all for coming on. We appreciate this. Meantime, Pete Hegseth, to you, Timothy, said this, the defense secretary, he said this about elevations today. Watch.
Tragically, last night, a mistake was made. And I think the president is right. There was some sort of an elevation issue that we have immediately begun investigating at the DOD and Army level.
He says some sort of an elevation issue, Tim, but we know that the max ceiling is 200 feet for the helicopters. The crash happened somewhere between 350 and 400 feet. Right there, the helicopter is wrong, and then it goes downhill from there.
Absolutely. That interestingly calls into questions again about the air traffic controller who may have been overwhelmed. He has information on his scope that tells him what elevation the aircraft is flying at. If he sees that it's above the 200-foot ceiling, instructions to descend should have been given. Those are all questions that need to be answered. If I could, it's very interesting. I'd like to know what happened in the conversation before the question about whether the aircraft they were seeing the CRJ.
Yeah.
Was there any communication before that? Yeah,
it's a very good question. What's your big question you have, Tim, on this whole thing? You look at this, you're an aviation attorney, you know this inside and out. What's your big question?
My big question has a lot to do with the communications that were happening with the Black Hawk. We don't know what they were told before they were asked, do you see the aircraft? Were they given the directions that you indicated? Where is the aircraft that they're looking for? Also, this question about night vision goggles, it seems like a nothing because they wouldn't have been flying with those on in this airspace.
Okay, interesting. Tim, Colonel, Robert, Arthur, gentlemen, thank you. Great insight. Back with the Nightcap crew. Tonight's topic, different strokes. President Trump took questions from the press a mere hours after the deadly plane crash last night. Meantime, Biden, we're still waiting for him to answer our questions about the New Orleans terrorist attack this month. Are you surprised by the contrast, Jason Rantz?
Not at all. I think when you have a really strong leader, your staff is going to emulate that. When you have a doddering old man who's incredibly incompetent, your staff's going to be incredibly incompetent.
Yeah, Steve Hilton.
No, and this is part of the whole approach we're seeing from this new administration, communicating all the time, all the people. You see it over the border, immigration, and this as well. And it's exactly what we need in our information age.
Kevin Cork.
I think it's a difference in how they view the American people. This administration wants to talk. That administration, they could have taken it or left it, and more often than not, they left it.
Christina.
I agree with Kevin. They want to be transparent and clear, and I really appreciate that.
Caroline.
Yeah, that's what this group's all about, radical transparency. It's what the American people voted for, and it's what we're getting.
Yeah. Tim.
I appreciate a president who comes out quickly and reassures the American people that they are looking into this. They're going to make sure that everyone is safe. I do appreciate accurate information based on evidence that is known.